Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be going over the best build for Demon Hunter in PvP mainly, but you can also use this build for PvE. I've been playing this game for a long time, since the alpha and the beta, and this is definitely going to be the best updated build, as you know, things change over time. So starting right off, I want to go ahead and show you guys my stats because that's relevant. If I'm giving you like the best build, I want to at least provide you guys with the stats that I've actually achieved. So starting right off, here is the build guide, and I'll link it down below also for more in-depth stats if people want to look over it more, but I want to start it off with showing you guys my actual rank. So we've actually gotten to the second standing, so that's like on the leaderboards, that's rank 2. Now the game has a rank system where it's like, you know, bronze, silver, gold. The highest you can get is legend. We've achieved legend with a 61% win rate with the build that you guys are seeing over here. We're going to be actually focusing in on mainly the one on the very top left over here, which is the crossbow shot, daring swing, multi-shot, vengeance, and rain of vengeance. I did, however, while grinding, I did mess around with smoke screen for a little bit with the crit pants, as well as I messed around with strafe a little bit, and I actually kind of like strafe as well, but mainly the multi-shot is going to be the go-to because you can't really swap out crossbow shot, rain of vengeance, and daring swing. Like, those are all we're going to be in every single build. But you guys can see all of the stats and the gear that I was using. I have no 5-star gems. I've never awakened any gear. This is very achievable for any player, even as a free-to-play player, with all the stuff I'm going to mention. I will also provide 2 different builds in case some of you guys are more into min-maxing. Obviously, yes, awakening every single piece of gear is always going to be in your advantage, but I want to mainly focus in on what's achievable by most players. So you guys can see all of the gems over here that we are running, but I want to go over the other important thing as of right now, which is actually getting your 4-piece bonus for PvP. So what I was actually running for this is actually going to be the Grace of the Flagellant. This is very big for a Demon Hunter, getting a 4-piece bonus. So every time we deal damage 5 times, we're going to do additional damage to the enemy. I know it says 630. Don't worry, that number does actually change. There's also another bonus effect where channeled and continue like ground damage, it gets increased by 15%, but it's really just for the other benefit of if you damage an enemy 5 times, they're going to take another massive amount of extra damage. Because of the way Vengeance works and all these extra little like rockets coming out, you're going to be able to hit an enemy very fast, actually activating this effect multiple times very fast. So that's going to be the main focus of the build. No one has a 6-piece set as of right now, for the most part, because of course we don't have access to Hell 4, which is where the rings actually drop. But now you can run the Rags of Shabazz set as a 2-piece bonus to give you 15% extra attack damage. The thing is that extra stun potential that you have, which can deal a decent amount of damage, that's every 40 seconds. I'd rather have consistent damage. Demon Hunter really benefits off of consistent damage versus like burst. Wizards could be excellent at doing burst, versus Demon Hunter is just really good at, again, hitting damage over a longer period of time, but it's more consistent, if that makes any sense. So we're running the Grace of the Flagellant set, so 4 pieces of this, and then the 2 rings could be the War Rags of Shabazz, once, of course, you're able to get those rings. In terms of the gems, I mean, it's pretty much the same as every build. It's going to be your damage gems for the red gems and the armor penetration for the blue. I like to personally get resistance over potency. The only thing that you have that really interrupts players is going to be the wolves. That is so required. So the only thing for this build that is absolutely required is going to be the Vash Typhonic Stampede Legendary Shoulders. This is the 100% most important thing for Demon Hunter. If I don't have this, I don't think I would actually have reached it, because this thing is so required. Basically what it does, instead of Rain of Vengeance firing arrows coming down, it shoots out a bunch of wolves that come out, and they actually do act as interrupts. It is so good for damage, and like the range on it is very big as well. It's one of the best skills in the game for Demon Hunter. It makes them at least somewhat competitive compared to, like, you know, Barbs and Wizard and PvP, because those are the classes I would say are more on the higher end of tier. But yeah, you really need these shoulders. The rest of the stuff is optional, but it will help out. But the shoulders absolutely a must if you want a PvP. In terms of the helmet, you can run the one that gives you an extra charge on daring swing or multi-shot damage, which is the there's ones like the boundless, or you can run the one called multi-shot damage, the Cal of Absolute Punishment, so it's extra multi-shot damage. And again, in all of the gameplay that I've had, I've never even gotten any awakened gear at all. But obviously if you can't awaken gear, yeah, you can get extra multi-shot cooldown, that would be great, or extra daring swing cooldown. But yeah, I reached legend completely without it. The thing is, either one of those is great for the helmet. For the chest piece, we want the one that gives us Vengeance cooldown. For the pants, we want it so during Vengeance, every 2 primary attacks will also cause us to launch an additional rocket that deals more damage to a nearby target. And then, I already talked about the shoulders, so with the Flame Spite, you can run the Cold rune or the Fire rune, so Fire does more damage, Cold will kind of slow your opponents down. And then we have the Hunger, so what this does is make it so crossbow shot will now pierce through the enemies, and it'll strike at additional enemies that are behind the target. This is great against Necromancer, or if let's say you have a wizard on your team and they use a black hole, they get a really good one, fire multi-shots into that, and then start slam them down with a bunch of the auto attacks. In terms of the legendary gems, I would consider this for like most players, because you can get all of these as most players. I would suggest Berserker's Eye, because you're going for damage, Bloody Reach as another gem, the Carson's Invigoration, this is going to give you extra attack speed. Everlasting Trauma is one of the best gems for PvP because that bleed actually prevents your opponent from healing. It's so insanely powerful. And then I personally really like Fervent Fang. Most people that got the Battle Pass, it is achievable. Like, I haven't gotten any 5-star gems. I did technically buy the Battle Pass just as a heads up, but like, this is a very easy gem for most players to get, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you do want to run something else, you can run Power and Command, so you can recycle some of the dots that would be on you. You can basically get rid of those. And then Lightning Core, everyone's going to get this gem anyway. So this is what I would recommend for, like, you know, most players to get. Now, if you really want to min-max, technically I was running at some point an Echoing Shade. This is one of the gems that was a 2-star that I was running. Everything else is achievable by any player, but I was technically running Echoing Shade as well. That was a 2-star, but this one's good. It gives you a clone. The clone, it originally was supposed to use some of your own abilities. It doesn't actually do that though. In game, it's been basically nerfed since like previous versions of the game. But yeah, this thing over here would be great just because it attacks, even if it does 1 damage. Remember, you just want that 5 damage to tick, and then you're gonna do a massive extra damage. Then of course, Seeping Bile, Blood-Soaked Jade. I never had any of these gems. I wish I did. Howlers is great as well. If you can specifically get it to, I believe it's to rank 3, then you can potentially stun. And it also acts as another attack. We've also got Everlasting Torment in this, and then Carson's Invigoration. Seeping Bile and Everlasting Torment can actually re-loop each other infinitely. It is so insane, like, if you've ever seen that, like, reactivate. Like, it's happened against me, because I've never had Seeping Bile, Blood-Soaked Jade, but Seeping Bile and this is an amazing combo. Super good over here. We can see we're 15-0 in the gameplay here. And then for the charms, I would recommend Crossbow Shot. This grants you extra crossbow shot damage, because you're just basically stacking as much damage as you possibly can for Crossbow Shot, because that's one of the best actual attacks in the game. But in terms of the gameplay and what we're actually doing, basically just use all of your skills as much as possible, and if you do happen to see yourself getting chased or a teammate getting chased, feel free to go ahead and activate your Rain of Vengeance, because that will indeed stun your enemies. But I have lots of videos on the PvP, so if you want to see like more videos on it, go ahead and check the pinned comment. I'll link some. But yeah, this is the build that I had achieved Legend with, and the one that I've been playing on the stream, because some of you guys asked for like an updated build guide as things have changed. Specifically, like Smokescreen has an animation now. It used to not. It used to be a lot better back in the previous versions of the games, but you know, as time goes on, we will be updating, you know, builds, because you know, things do get buffs and nerfs, and they might be changing things and adding more legendaries in the future. So if you want to be up to date on maybe more build guides in the future, subscribe to the bell and you'll see more in the future. But take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.